Hello, and welcome to the Gnostic Warrior radio show and podcast, broadcasting from GnosticWarrior.com in San Diego, California, to around the world. I'm your host, Mo, and today on the show, we have activist and blogger Vinny Eastwood. This is a special news report where I'm bringing Vinny Eastwood live from New Zealand to tell you about a recent issue he had with censorship in regards to his YouTube channel, which he feels was shut down as a direct result of some videos he made and produced and put up on YouTube about the Prime Minister, John Key of New Zealand. It's really interesting that he's been doing videos and activism for the last several years, and then he produced a special video one time, and within a week after producing it, his YouTube channel was shut down without notice, and he had over 18,000 subscribers on there. And in this podcast, Vinny tells us what exactly happened, why he feels it's shut down, and what you could do to possibly help him. Is this an end to free speech? Did we ever have it? You're going to want to listen to this show. Thanks for being on the Gnostic Warrior today, Vinny. How you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Vinny Eastwood from The Vinny Eastwood Show. That's thevinnyeastwoodshow.com, Vinny with a Y, because it's the most important question. And Eastwood hasn't go ahead, make my news.
And, you know, I've known you for quite some time now, Vinny, but I know there's a lot of people out there that know you as well, and also some people that might not know you. Can you give those people that don't know who you are a little bit of information about your background, who you are, and what you do?
Well, since 2008, I've been attending New Zealand protests and public meetings, and also hosting a American-based talk radio show on American Freedom Radio that ceased just late last year. And since then, I've been doing all my own work independently. And just recently, I uploaded a video about the New Zealand Prime Minister, John Key. And it turns out he's connected to the tip-top of the elite of the U.S. banking cartel, which we've all exposed through the Federal Reserve banking system, but also a number of other elements within his work history, heavy involvement in the derivatives market, which Money Magazine said caused the 2008 financial crisis, which was incidentally the same year that we elected John Key to save us from this crisis that he admitted that he helped cause.
And John Key would be your prime minister there? The
Prime Minister of New Zealand, yes, okay. Since 2008.
Okay.
And the video was so explosive, so compressed was the detail, because I interviewed four very knowledgeable New Zealand activists and financial industry researchers to get bullet points about the Prime Minister's past, and turned it into a script. And basically I did the script in more or less a incredibly fast talking tone, just so that you could compress the amount of time it would take to listen to all this stuff, because well, basically everybody's got a short attention span, everyone knows that.
Of course, you got to cater to the people out there, especially YouTube.
Yeah. But nevertheless, a lot of people don't like that anyway, because I've had so many people say they want it slower, or they want it in not such a serious tone of voice, or they want the jokes taken out of it, or something like that. And more or less, their problem is not with the substance, it's with the form. You know, it's like, I'm prepared to accept that information, but not if you say it like that.
And we all know you can't make everybody happy. We can do our best, but you just can't do that.
That said, this video went frickin' viral, right? I mean, the average for an interview that I just upload to my channel is like maybe 150 views in a day or something like that, without needing to promote it all that much. And this one got 1,000 in a day, 2,002, 3,000 in 3 days, 4,000, and it was like bumping up 1,000 hits per day, every single day that it was up.
And this isn't the first video you've done about John Key. This was just the first produced, polished one you've done.
This is the very first time I actually sat down, got the research that was backed up with evidence, wrote a script, and then narrated it, and then uploaded it. Everything else has simply been interviews with other insiders, or commentary on him, or analyzing news about him, and things of that nature in a live broadcast format. This is the first time that everything's just been kind of laid out like this.
And you've been doing it for years too, right? Since 2008, 2009?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, my very first video on my channel before it was taken down because of this video, was actually the Penny Bright, privately prosecuting John Key because he had shares in a New Zealand, state-owned enterprise called Transrail, and he tried to flush out commercially sensitive information when the government was talking about selling it. And that's a conflict of interest. And he's basically just a total on-board insider trader, and there's really no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. Now, imagine the opportunities for insider trading when you literally run the country.
Of course, this seems to happen all around the world. And, of course, New Zealand wouldn't be any different than happens here in America. We have the Congress. They all get richer and richer every year that they're in Congress sitting there, and you have the lobbyists. Is this a case of know your place, shut your face? And they basically, John Key made a call to whoever, somebody in his staff, to shut you down. Do you believe that's what happened?
I can't prove that. Many people have suspected that. What I assume is the case is that basically he's just got a whole bunch of mindless, moronic scum who love everything he does, love everything he says, and hate everybody who says anything different, who flagged my video en masse and then got my entire channel pulled down. That's what I think happened. That said, the amount of people that I've interviewed over the years that have had their homes taken off them, or been arrested without charge, or had their personal bail conditions, including not being able to contact any members of parliament during an election or publish anything online, coming from the personal orders of John Key, because one guy was exposing corruption, a guy named Russell Malcolm. It's not outside of the realms of possibility, but in my opinion, it's more likely to be mindless scum than intentional scumbaggery.
And you haven't had any other issues in the years you've been on YouTube. I know you put up videos every day, at least 3 to 5, with your 3-hour interviews. You usually break them into a few, and then of course your own personal productions. Have you had any other issues with your channel being taken down or copyright strikes? I know if you have 3, they shut it down. You didn't have none of that?
Well, you're allowed 3 per year.
Oh, 3 per year. Gotcha.
And the only copyright strike I actually ever had was because one guy named Bruce Montalvo did a really awful rap song about me. Now, I'm not saying the song was like, oh, it was mean and I hurt my feelings. I mean, it's just terrible. The guy can't rhyme. He can't rap. He can't frickin' string a sentence together. He's out of time to the beat. And it was just basically over a Dr. Dre beat. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, bro, Dr. Dre, you poor man, you've had your stuff befouled by this. But anyway, normally when people abuse me or make a video about me, to attack me, I'll actually upload that video to my channel. Just for my own personal records, just to show people the kind of stuff that I have to go through. Just trying to tell the truth to people, trying to help out, the good ones. Basically,
just so you know, to the audience, I've witnessed this also for the last several years that I've known Vinny. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I have seen these attacks, and I've been a witness to you posting these attacks, and it's great that you do that. But go ahead, Vinny.
Well, I mean, and also it's for the sake of transparency, because I never want anybody to say that, oh, Vinny doesn't tell us anything about the bad stuff that he does. BS, man. I've admitted to stealing things on my live radio broadcast from activists, and how bad I feel about it and that kind of thing, and how I gave it back without using it, and all these sort of things. I'm probably
very honest and upfront. I agree, Vinny.
And to many people, that's a bad thing, right? Especially in talk radio, man. I mean, if anything, my entire life I've been criticized for being too honest. Shooting myself in the foot, so to speak. And to an extent that's correct, but I remember this conversation Batman was having with Superman. And Superman's like, well, we're really good, and we've got all these great gifts and skills and talents, and we're helping people. Why do they hate us and fear us? Batman says, it's necessary. If they didn't hate and fear us, even though we're good, if we ever turn bad, we'd have nobody to let us know.
Yeah, that's a great line, and it's great that you put it to your work.
Yeah. Well, I ultimately feel very very vulnerable, and have been since I started doing all of this. There's been I don't have like a staff. I've got listeners, colleagues, and and donors and sponsors and things like that. But in terms of getting all the work done on a day-to-day basis, fielding all the emails, filtering out, blocking terrible people on YouTube and Facebook and all of that kind of, it's all me, baby. And the thing about this John Key video is because it was so damn good, it was actually my finest scripting I think I've ever done. I mean, I probably could have spent a hell of a lot more time doing the video itself, but I just wanted to get it up as quickly as possible. So we're going to be redoing the video, going to be doing it a little bit more slower, a little bit more professional, and instead of just showing these crazy funny pictures of John Key that we've had digitally made up over the years, that we've been exposing him for various crimes and what have you, we're actually going to put up the articles and documents from mainstream media and his own website to prove everything that we're saying in this video is true as it's being said.
So you're not going to stop. You're going to, even if they shut down your channel forever, that's not going to censor Vinny.
Life isn't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and still get back up.
Oh,
worst case scenario, my YouTube is pulled permanently. And that's a huge blow, not to me, but to every single activist I've ever filmed, interviewed, or published on that channel, from hundreds of protests, hundreds of public meetings, and 1,000 plus interviews over the years.
And
That's who's getting really shafted by this. And currently, I'll just answer some frequently asked questions about the channel.
Sure, please do. I'm
uploading all of my own videos again. Okay, there's currently 217 in the queue on computer B. I've had to, like my very first computer is, in fact, this is quite interesting, isn't it? My very first computer is just like a little one, like a 21-inch iMac, and we don't really use it that much anymore because it's just kind of, when computers get old, they slow down and they're just not as functional. Yep. But that's sitting next to me now, just basically being a slave computer, and I've got a 4 terabyte hard drive plugged into it, uploading hundreds of videos at a time, and it took the last 48 hours, I think, to upload well over 130 videos. So with nearly 3,000 videos to upload, I think it might actually be all restored by, I don't know, end of the month, roughly.
Okay, and these are just uploaded to your computer, not to a YouTube channel?
No, these are uploaded to my YouTube channel. I've got a backup YouTube channel, so it's youtube.com/Eastwood Vincent. That's my backup channel. The one that got deleted was youtube.com/Mr. News Guerrilla Media. That was the one with 16,000 subscribers, 3.5 million hits, and thousands of videos. Whereas the other one that I have was for my earlier days of activism, when I was mostly doing a lot of work for the Legalized Cannabis Party and Dr. Green at the Dactory, and also filming dance parties and things of that nature back in the day before I, started doing activism full-on hardcore every day of the week with a radio show.
Yeah, and that's why you wanted to separate the channels and start something fresh.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I've come to the realization that there really is no such thing as a fresh start. I mean, if you get dragged through the mud, you come out dirty.
Of course.
So I'm not going to hose it off or anything. I'm going to reboot it, as well as hopefully get my other channel redone. And regardless of that, what I'm thinking now is replacing myself. Okay? I mean, I'm the only one in this country with the skills, or at the very least, the only one who's done it, made activism into a full-time media gig, right? In terms of video, radio, and blogs and social networking and all of that kind of stuff. And because I'm the only one who did that, the activists were more or less reliant upon me to do it all for them. And so what that means to me is I need to help them to be able to do it for themselves. Like, I want to actually start producing them. There's a lot of these very talented researchers that I've interviewed over the years who will certainly not be given their own radio show by any mainstream network, and nor will I doubt. unless I tone it right down. I'm probably not prepared to do that, because I'm masochistic like that. 75 grand, company car, company credit card. Vinny, do you want that? Really? Can I tell the truth on the radio? Maybe only a little bit. A little bit. Nah, F off, bro. I'd rather just, go between meals and be able to live with myself, than take the money and shovel BS for a living.
Yeah, do you believe that people in media, newscasters, whoever does that, and they suppress themselves, they agree to toe the party line or selling out their souls, essentially to the devil and to the system?
It's funny you should mention that, because that was what I was exactly about to say. It's about selling your soul. No, I've spoken to a lot of these media people, and the word is soulless. Soulless. There's nothing there. There's no passion. There's no love. There's no deeper understanding or deep meaning or profound message in what it is they do. They sit there vacuously, mindlessly, reporting lies. And people get surprised and disillusioned that all of their countrymen seem to be idiots who follow psychopaths into a slaughterhouse. I don't think that's actually surprising at all, considering the only people that you have trying to report media to you now, since my channel's been deleted, are the people who are on these big payrolls, are the people who want these interviews with the Prime Minister and everything like that, who will not say the truth about him, because then they'll never get another interview with him.
Doesn't it seem like it's getting worse and worse, that free speech is not really, it's a thing of the past, and it's getting to the point where people such as ourselves are just getting suppressed? We're caught on the web, which essentially was built by the military. And the last time I checked, you don't surf a web, you actually get caught in it. It's almost like this big trap, this big web for all of us to get caught into, and they could shut us down. Google owns YouTube. Google actually sends me checks for another website I own, where I have Google AdSense. So I'm completely 100% reliant on the big G. And of course they own YouTube, and they could pretty much shut us down and cause us pain through the web or through any one of these various channels, like they did you now with shutting down your YouTube channel. And I'm sure they can go after us other ways. Do you feel that this is how they're getting after people such as us?
See, and again, I'm not 100% sure if there's a conspiracy involved here, whether the Prime Minister got my channel taken down himself, or if it was one of these just idiot voters of his. So the answer is I don't really know. However, I'm not naive enough to rule out the possibility. And the one most important element I think anybody should research into is psychopathy. I mean, really, what is a psychopath? How do they think? How do they operate? What do they do to people? And you think about how the world is run, and it only makes sense if you believe that it's run by a psychopath. If you believe it's run by good people, you'd start to think those people were absolutely stupid. But if you think that it's run by a psychopath, you think that those psychopaths are actually pretty bright.
And let me play devil's advocate there on that statement. And again, I just want to be the devil's advocate here. In the old days, people such as you, Vinny, would be taken out and burned at the stake. You would have your head cut off. I mean, this happened for thousands of years. They got it to the point now where they shut down our YouTube channel, or they Breitbart us, or they shoot us with a cancer gun. Is it better the way they, and again, devil's advocate, the way they used to manage us, where the truth was right there, the boot on our face, the sword on our neck, the embers on our feet burning us to death? Or is it better now? They shut down our YouTube channel. They,
Okay, so can I ask you, what's better, syphilis or gonorrhea? They're both not good. I mean, let's just agree on that.
Correct.
So it's regardless of how you get suppressed. It's not necessarily an age of that. It's an age of how you resist. And I think the way that we used to resist was with pamphleteers. This is what sparked the American Revolution. Was it? I think it was Thomas Jefferson or Andrew Jackson. I forget. One of them wrote a paper called Common Sense. Thomas Paine.
Yeah,
Thomas Paine, I think.
Correct.
And these pamphlets were read reportedly from back in the day up to 200 to 300 times per pamphlet. People were literally handing this stuff around after they'd read it because the information was so compelling, so important. That was the alternative media of its day. And there's an old gangster proverb: the players change, but the game, it stays the same. So regardless of however we got suppressed back in the day, we're still being suppressed today, and the same psychopathic scumbags that beset us before beset us again. And I remember back earlier in my career, I had the privilege to interview the late Bob Chapman from the internationalforecaster.com, and I asked him, Bob, do you think we could actually get rid of corruption, like on a permanent way? Do you reckon we'd ever be able to set up some kind of structure whereas to prevent it in perpetuity? And he says, no, it's a perennial problem. No matter which part of the garden you choose to weed, there'll be one part of the garden you missed where another weed will be sprouting without you knowing about it. And so, yeah, I think some of the founding fathers were correct. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. I don't think we'll ever be free, per se. It's kind of like the yin and yang. Sometimes the evil dominates and there's a little bit of good inside, and sometimes the good dominates and there's a little bit of evil inside it growing.
No, I agree with Bob, and that's great that you remembered that quote. When you look at our system right now, there's that illusion of freedom, that we're free and we're not chained, or we're not slaves or plebs. They call us citizens now. In the old days, you knew exactly who you were and you knew who your rulers were. Do you believe that we're the same as we were back then? We're just called by new names and the chains are invisible now?
Yeah, pretty much. Here's an article out of the New Zealand Herald today, who I had more YouTube subscribers than, by the way. 97% of CEOs polled in New Zealand Herald survey back the Prime Minister John Key to win. Right? Mm-hmm. Is it me, or do we simply get the leader that big business wants? And damn what the people want. And the thing is, the people who stop voting first, the people who think that the system's corrupt, are the intelligent ones. So who still gets left to vote? Whose votes by proxy become more valuable and more powerful because there's less other voters in the pool? The morons who support their own enslavement. And so what happens is, I think we're kind of at a nexus point. And one of the most important elements, I think, is so essential for the life of anybody who struggles for freedom, justice in the American way, in the Superman sense of the word, is hope. No matter how dark it gets, no matter how painful, no matter how much work you've done that simply gets destroyed, no matter how many freedoms of yours have been taken off you, no matter how long it took them to do that, there's always a way out. There's always a window open at the back of the house that you can climb in. There's always a spare key. There's always something. And if you stop believing that there is, you stop looking for it. And if you stop looking for it, then you'll never find it.
You have a way with words, Vinny. I've always loved listening to you, and I'm sure you had a lot of time to think about this and everything that is going on. What is your next step? What do you have planned? I know you're uploading all these videos. You got your backup channel. Is there anything else out there that you want to tell the audience? What's next for Vinny Eastwood and your plans?
Well, I want to raise some money. You might have heard on occasion my stomach rumbling in the background because there's no food in the house, and it's been a real struggle this last couple of months. We've had cars breaking down left, right, and centre, and it's been winter, so my wife's gardening companies have turned down a little bit. So any donations that people could help are very appreciated at the VinnyEastwoodShow.com. Preferably if you want to donate regularly. A lot of listeners donate $5 a month or something of that nature, and what this does is it gives me passive income. What passive income allows me to do is to spend my time doing whatever I want, all right? And whatever I want for the last 7 years at least has been putting out and publishing and helping the activists of New Zealand and the globe get their voices heard in an open, free, and fun format. If you think that's worth donating to, then start donating to me. Now, alternatives. I'm in a toss-up point at the moment. This has been the first time I've actually mentioned it on radio. I'm thinking about rebranding, right? Like, you know how Russell Brand these last couple of years he's been saying, oh, I'm fighting for the underdog, etc. And it turns out that this last 4 years he's been shooting a documentary called Rebranded about how to rebrand yourself in the media. And my YouTube channel getting deleted gives me the opportunity to do exactly that. Instead of being the funny man, the crazy conspiracy theorist, chemtrails and everything like that, I can rebrand myself as a serious producer and actually produce my own replacements. You know, there's a number of people I've interviewed in New Zealand over the years who are great, and a couple of them have already accepted to do radio shows. I'm not going to start a new network or anything like that. I'm not going to be doing live broadcasts, but I'm going to be giving these activists their own show. And I'm going to do all the work for them. I'm going to do all the producing. I'm going to do all the web for them for about half a dozen different high-level, credible activists here in New Zealand that are so good at radio that I think they deserve a chance. Once upon a time, an American gave me a chance on American Freedom Radio to be the first New Zealander ever with an American-based talk radio show. And look what I've made of it. I want to pass that opportunity on to others as it was given to me. And my former producer was so supportive of me in those early years starting up in talk radio. He taught me so many amazing skills and gifts, and he was really, really supportive. And I just basically want to play my part and give those gifts on to others and help them to basically be my replacements, more or less.
That sounds like a great plan. Are you going to broadcast from the VinnyEastwoodShow.com, or are you going to start another website?
I haven't entirely decided yet. I mean, it might be an entirely new site altogether, or I might convert the VinnyEastwoodShow.com into a semi-network, or might use RealGuerrillaMedia.com. It's just all ideas at this point. And I've been given a lot of new tech in the last few years. A friend of mine, Alan, who's a professional photographer, he used to do work for Ferrari in the States back in the 90s. He's leaving New Zealand at the moment and going to Singapore, and he's given me all this gear, bro. Like, he's given me a great big black backdrop. He's given me new lights and everything. So I now have a professional studio with professional microphones and a number of professional computers. So the best thing I can think of, instead of letting the stuff go unused because I no longer have a channel, is to simply allow others to have that for themselves. You know, just come round to my house. I'll teach you how to do it, teach you how to edit it, and then they'll go, "Oh my God, Vinny, that's actually really, really easy." And I go, "Yeah, it is, isn't it? You don't even need me anymore, do you?" And they go, "No, I don't." You see, the elite's problem is that they focus on making other people dependent on them so that they can remain powerful. I focus on making people independent of me so that they can become powerful.
I agree, Vinny. You do that and have done that for years. The student becomes the teacher. I think that's a great plan and an idea. And I think you have a lot to give to not only New Zealand, but the world, and have a lot of people out there that you could teach your skills. I just don't know how anybody could replace you as far as the work goes, but you're going to be involved in the production and the editing and helping these guys and getting it online. So I assume you'll stay really, really busy doing that.
Well, I've always said that the activists and the researchers, they do the real important work, and I'm merely the douchebag with the microphone, sitting here working the knobs and buttons behind the curtain while they just kind of do their thing, and I just publish them on YouTube. And all I'm doing is just taking the next natural progression from there, because everything that I've ever done for them in history had just got wiped out.
Yeah. Did you have any income coming in? I know YouTube doesn't pay a lot. Were you getting any online ads at all from them, or did you?
I don't know. Maybe you can tell me how to get money from AdSense, because I've been trying. There's like $400 or $500 in there, or something like that, that's accumulated over years. And I can't, because I never monetize my videos. I only monetize like 2 or 3 of them, because I wanted to have them all Creative Commons for everybody to download, for free and be able to re-upload to their own channels for free. Unfortunately, very few people did that. So there's probably about maybe a couple of hundred, tops of my videos out there, on YouTube today, that other people have uploaded. But, yeah.
How many videos were there?
About 3,000 altogether on just one channel.
Vinny, would I recommend definitely monetize it. I could help you in the future. I have my videos up, only a couple hundred, but each one makes $1 to $2 average. You know, of course, some videos do $30 a month, but if you were to add that over time with your videos.
Oh yeah, well, the thing is, I started doing that about a month ago,
okay.
and my revenue started to go up, but then my YouTube channel got cancelled, and the problem with YouTube being connected with Google is that they also automatically cancel your Google Plus account. Yeah. And so I had to reinstate that and redo my password and everything. But now I don't know how to log into my AdSense or get my check. And I've never received a check from them once in all these years that I've had my AdSense account, because I can't figure out how to do it.
Yeah, just if I were you, whatever account that was, you'll have an email with the exact same sign-on, and you sign into AdSense with that, and then you just got to go into the payment systems. I've been getting paid by Google since 2009 via Google AdSense, and just recently YouTube. So yeah, you definitely want to log into your email with the same user sign-up that you had on YouTube, and then you could put your address in there and how you want to get paid.
Yeah, it'll work.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we've come to the end of the little half-hour broadcast, Mo, and I really want to thank you profusely for giving me the time on your wonderful show.
No, thank you, Vinny. And before we wrap up today, can you again give your website address to the people out there?
It is thevinnyeastwoodshow.com, VINNY, most important question, and Eastwood as in go ahead, make my news. Or just search Vinny Eastwood on Google. It should be the first-ish result that comes up. If it's not the first result that comes up, and there's somebody else that's like Vinny Eastwood-ish out there, I'm stab him.
You also have some activism going on, meaning you want people to help you get your account reinstated. Has that stopped, or do you want to direct anybody? Just go to your website and you have some information there about writing a letter or emailing YouTube?
Everybody's been emailing YouTube, but email just bounces back. Or if they go to the YouTube partner support, they say only the partner can email us and all of that kind of stuff. But YouTube's basically turned themselves into a fortress of solitude, where if you get screwed over by yourself, you're on your own. Right? I've
been there before, so.
So yeah, basically nobody can help me in the regards of emailing YouTube, I've found. However, public pressure and more hits onto the website and the blog post specifically, which hopefully we'll post with this archive here, Mo, about the cancellation of the YouTube channel and how to resist it. And if there's anybody who does YouTube videos or radio shows of their own that want to invite me on for a short segment or something like that to explain my plight, I'd be very much appreciative.
Great. Vinny, it has been a great pleasure speaking with you again today. I wish you the best. I hope everything works out for you, because you're a good man, you're a good friend, and I really appreciate everything you do for the community and the world. Take care, bro.
Cheers, man.